Hello YouTube and welcome back to World Flads. This is Chronicle, Runescape Legends. This is a card game developed by Jagex, who you'll be more familiar with on my channel at least for the shooty games like Ace of Spades and Block and Load. However, their biggest selling game to date is obviously Runescape, and this is the variant that they've done for their MMORPG in much the same way that Blizzard did Hearthstone with World of Warcraft. This game does make a big attempt to slip into exactly the same place as Hearthstone. It's a very fun, very easy to pick up and play, interesting take on a card game. The big point though is that this is not Hearthstone. It's got its own unique, fantastic art style. It's got similarities to Hearthstone, but I think that's probably an important thing because it means people can transition between the two. But the way you play, the mechanics, the way it's laid out, incredibly different, and I'm really excited to actually show you this. As you know, in the past I have had affiliations with Jagex. This isn't the case with this. I've been playing this game for about, I don't know, 4 hours. I only discovered it today just as I was browsing through new games that have been about. It's been out for about 6 months, but I'm very new to it, so hopefully together I can show you the basics and we'll see if you like it. I think anyone that plays Hearthstone will really enjoy this. It's got the same playability as it. It's also got the same things you'd expect from any card game: deck building, crafting, a massive collection of cards for all the classes, which I'll show you in a second. A store, if you don't want to grind, you can buy the card packs. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that they've done a good job on balancing this so that you can't actually pay to win. But as with most card games, if you haven't got the time to grind, then you can spend your money, buy the cards, and if you get duplicates, you get dust or gems, I think they call it in this. And you open them in here. I haven't actually got one to show you at the moment, but that's trying to take me to the shop. We can buy a booster pack since we're here, actually. Let's buy one of these, and I'll be able to show you quickly how to open one. Confirm. In-game shops are very nice. There was a button that took me to a website. I'm less inclined to use that one. I much prefer the convenience of an in-game shop, and as you can see, that was using coins that I'd accumulated in-game, not my own money. This will bring you to this screen where you just click on the box. It will open up, click 5 times, and you'll get 4 common and an uncommon as well. I do think there are different types of booster packs which will get you rares, or a better chance of getting a rare or legendary, whatever. But for the bog standard booster pack, you get 4 commons and an uncommon. They are random, of course, as to whether or not they'll be for a general use or for a specific class, same as Hearthstone. Let's go back to the main menu. But I think now the best thing to do will be just to jump into a game, and I'll be able to explain you the mechanics a little better from there, whilst also having a quick look here at the different classes. Now these guys all interact, as you'd expect, with cards and their own cards in different ways, and have their own unique play styles that will be suited to either tempo, to a slower game, to a zoo type affair. But although zoo's probably the wrong word for this, because you don't actually attack the other person with beasts. We'll get on to that in a second. For the purpose of this video though, let's jump into a silver game against the mage, and we are going to play as the raptor. These are my decks that I constructed, and they're pretty much describing my level at the moment. So let's go in. This will chuck us quickly into a game. Now this game is constructed of 5 chapters. You have one chapter, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5. At the start of the game, you get a chance to discard cards that you don't want to play in your sort of opening hand. And because I'm going second, I've picked up an extra card as well. You can have 10 cards here at any one time, but you start off with 6 unless you go second. These cards are going to be quite difficult for me to deal with. Now, at the top, just let me discard them and I'll explain what they do, because there's a timer on this. We can probably keep that. Let's get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. I'll explain why in a minute, and we'll get rid of that. So up in the corner of the top left hand corner of this card is a 1 with a little flame. That's the attack damage of this beast card. on the other side is a heart. That's the health of this beast card. Now, instead of you throwing that card at the enemy and letting it do damage, I will actually be fighting these cards and plotting my own little adventure through this chapter. The idea is whether or not I want to buff myself, poke at the enemy, do a little bit of both, or build myself towards the 5th and final chapter, where if you both have 30 health left, you'll duke it out using your own attack damage that you've been building throughout the game. It sounds a little bit complicated, but it's actually very simple. So down here, this empty slot, this will be where my weapon goes. This is my attack damage as it stands, my base attack damage. This is the amount of gold I have, and this is my health. And over here is where my armor goes. Now, these beast cards that I'll be fighting myself, they are just straight up fighting ones. So my attack damage will come off of their health, and then their attack damage will come off of my health until one of us dies. Hopefully it's the card. These ones, however, are support cards. Now up in the corner you'll see a little gold coin. When that has a number in it, that's the number of gold it takes to use that card. So from this card, it will deal 4 damage to me, while it has a health pool of 3. Now down the bottom is the rewards you get for killing those cards, and in this case it's 3 gold coins. So that will go into my middle gold collection, and then I'll be able to buy these cards, because you see that costs 4 gold, that costs 2 gold, that costs 1 gold. So you are trying to manage your cards gold whilst also trying to buff yourself using the creature cards at the same time. Let's move into it and let me pick my cards, and then we'll be able to get a better idea about what's going on. So to start off with, I've only got 2 attack damage, so I will be taking some damage off this armoured zombie, but I think I'm going to chuck him out first, and I'm also going to get some gold from this guy. It costs nothing and returns 3 gold as a reward. It also has an effect of removing a weapon, but because I don't have one, it doesn't matter at the moment. We will also... I think that will probably do for the moment. We'll only chuck 2 out. You can chuck a maximum of 4 out. But for now, we'll go with this. So as you can see, my dude is attacking my card. And that card will then add to my stats if it's a buff for me. Or it will go against the enemy's stats if it's an attack against them or a debuff. So you see, I took 1 health from that zombie. But I did pick up 3 gold. And also I've got 4 armor. So that's the first chapter out the way. We've both been running our separate little sort of goes through our little first part of our adventure. Into the second chapter, same again. Place 4 cards. You can either buff yourself, damage the enemy, or try and give yourself some gold to work into a later game strategy. So now we will still have 2 basic attack, which means I can kill this in 1 shot. The effect being it will discard a random card. So let's chuck that one out first. And have we got anything useful? Because we're going to get an attack damage stat off of this one, we can actually start to look at attacking these. Now, unless the card has got aggressive written on it, you will hit it first. So the fact this has 4 damage is irrelevant, because I will have 3 damage, which will be enough to take its HP down and kill it. So we're going to take that and chuck him in there, which is going to give us enough gold to also get an additional attack damage stat from this guy. And will she have it's unlikely she's going to have a weapon at this stage. So I don't think we'll worry about bash unless we did want to do some poke. Perhaps we should do some poke to her. So let's do that just for the poke, and if she's got a weapon then we might take it out as well and go into our next one. Right, so I'm going to hit this. It's going to kill it. It's going to take away 1 random card. She's doing her cards at the same time. And she so far hasn't really done anything to attack me, but she has been building up her gold stacks and giving herself 1 attack damage. Moving to the next one, got 3 gold off of that. I'm now going to pay this guy 4 gold using the gold from down here, and that's going to give me 1 attack damage. So when we get to the final fight, I'm actually going to have 4 attack damage to hit her with. At the moment she has 6, but she's under a temporary buff. That's now gone down to 3. When it's green, it's on a temporary sort of buff sort of stage. She didn't have a weapon, so we didn't have to worry about that, but we did manage to get a little bit of damage in on her. At this point, we're into Chapter 3, so now you've got to start thinking, are we going to go to Chapter 5 and to the final fight? Therefore, I need to try and get some attack damage, or do I want to try and hit her with the cards available and try and take her out prior to the final round? As it stands, I don't actually have a lot to work with here. I've got 5 support cards, 1 gold, and only 1 minion card that I can use. The fortunate thing is that that's actually going to give me some more attack damage. I'm going to get some more gold, I think, because I've got these cards here. I want to be able to use them. If I haven't got any gold when we move into the later rounds, then I won't be able to use them, and it'll just be plain awkward, basically. So he's going to give me 3. That will take me up to a total of 4. I'm going to get some more armor. I don't need health at the moment. I don't need to remove any damage from a creature, and gain health equal to your armor. Not going to be terribly helpful at the moment. So only 3 cards this time. Now the enemy has gone for more card draw. The mage specialises in card draw and burst damage, whereas I specialise in armor and staying alive, and then doing sort of not poke, but I should be good into the final fight. Especially if I can pick up one of my weapons. And once again, we're just moving through it. At this stage, it's automated. So you pick your route for that particular level, trying to second guess what the enemy's going to do, trying to see what you need in regards to your stats, whether or not you want to hit the enemy. And then it runs through to the end, and then you move into the next chapter. So we're in chapter 4 now. And hopefully we're going to get some decent draw. We only get 3 cards, and because I'm down to my last 2, we are running it a bit fine. And again, more support cards. These are not great. However, we do have an opportunity here. So I can... Oh, I don't really need the armor, although it will help in case she tries to burst me. And I can kill this in 1 shot. So we should chuck that out first. Then we'll gain some armor, I think. Are we going to have enough? We'll have enough gold there. But I did want to fight her. I have 5 attack damage, and I should be looking to poke, I think. And she's only got 3. So let's take that out. Let's chuck that in there. So we should have some good armor and some decent attack. And we should be able to hit her and not take too much damage herself. And do I want some health? Probably take some health as well, I think. And then we'll get that health as well for after the little fight we have. So what's she going to do this round? Is she going to attack? No, she's going for more gold. So she might be building up into a big expensive support card. Or because it's a bot and we're only playing in silver, she may just be noobing along. Now we're going to have a battle. So I'm just going to hit her and she's going to hit me. That's simply what a battle is. So I'm going to take 3 damage. She took 5. She's down to 24 now with a real high amount of gold. And she's still building gold as well, which is a little concerning considering we don't know what she's got in store. We're nearly back up to full health. We've got 9 armor as well, 5 attack damage. We're in a pretty strong position. What we need in Chapter 5 is some good attack damage, sort of instant attack cards to come down. That way we can really do some damage to her before we go into the final fight. So now we're in Chapter 5. This is the final chapter, as it says there. And it's telling me to prepare, because when we get to the end of this, if we've both got health, we're going to have a straight up duke it out fisticuffs. And you want to make sure you got plenty of attack damage and plenty of health for when you go into that. However, she's now got 4 opportunities to do a lot of damage to me, and ideally I want to try and do some damage to her. It's no good taking these card draw cards, because you're not going to get any opportunity to draw anymore. So I'm going to want a weapon, but I think I'm going to take that out first. Do I want to take 2 damage? I don't really want to take 2 damage for the 2, although it will. I can get myself back up to full health. Okay, so we're going to do it. We're going to take 2 damage, but we are going to be able to heal ourselves up, and I'm going to get my sword as well, which will give me a +2 attack stat for 2 turns, which will be my weapon. We'll chuck that in there. And then we'll finish off by getting some health, and then we should, as long as we don't get bursted down, go into a final fight. So, here we go. I'm going to get some more armor here. She just removed something off her creature, so we don't know if she's building into something big, a big sort of support card or not. She's picked herself up a weapon. We're also going to be picking ourselves up a weapon. Here comes our 2 damage and 2 card draw. Doesn't really matter. We're actually only doing it for the gold so that we can buff ourselves with health all the way up. Although we only really need the 1. But anything's good at this point. So +7 coming in. So I've got, after she's done that to me, I've got full life, 11 armor, and 7 attack damage with 2 strikes. She's got 24 health, 5 attack damage for 2 strikes. So you can see we're now just hitting each other. Duke, 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 duke. And there you go. I've managed to out-duke her. I had 23 life left, and she is obviously dead. That's how the game plays out. It's actually incredibly simple. I don't know whether I managed to get that across to you or not. It's actually the first time I tried commentating one of these games. And once you're familiar with it, that whole thing will move very smoothly and you won't even think about it. All your planning is done when you pick the cards. After that happens, it just depends on what the opposition's done and whether or not you've read them correctly as to what their strategy is. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed playing it, and I am continuing to enjoy playing it. I'm going to play a lot more of it as well. It's free to play. You can pick it up you can go through JX's website, or you might be able to just go to chronicles.co.uk. It might be there, but if you search Chronicle RuneScape Legends, you'll definitely be able to find the game. And I hope to see you in here. If you do come in, add me. My name is Flads, and we can play a few games together. And hopefully I'll be able to learn a few things off of you guys, because I'm pretty bad at these sort of card games. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've been Flads. This has been Chronicle RuneScape Legends. Cheers and goodbye.